A 1, 2, a microphone check, 1, 2, 1, 2. I feel like I'm about to rap up here, but I'm not going to. Maybe. So I'll just do the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming from Hollywood, California, you may know him as the leader of the Lost Boys, Rufio. You may know him as the American Dragon, Jake Long. And you also may know him as Prince Zuko of the Five Nations. Give up one time for Dante Basco, late to his own panel. What's up, guys? We are going in and out. So I'm just gonna, we're gonna kick it. Like, this is a very intimate crowd, so we can kind of be intimate. It's Friday night at BoroughCon. How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Y'all really good? And this is my panel, so we can talk about whatever we want. I guess I just, you know, y'all sitting down. I'm gonna sit down and relax. What did I forget? Blood and Bone. Pinball from Blood and Bone. The ish-talking manager. There's like so many different things. So I just talk about myself for just a hot second, then I'll talk, you know, then we'll just think of some questions right now. Think of some questions, so I'm just not up here rambling on my own. But so I've been an actor for like over 30 years, and that's a long time. That's longer than just about everybody in the room has been alive. Not everybody. Not everybody? Not everybody, but a lot, most people. All right, so the people that... You almost in the movie with me? We're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna have to talk about that for sure. So I've been acting for a long time, and over my 30 years so far of acting, I've been very fortunate to play a lot of these characters, and a lot of these characters you guys are talking about. So I'm just here today. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, stories of certain projects that we might have done together.
Future projects.
Features? Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about future projects that have been done that aren't out yet, and stuff that we're working on and hopefully can get done. So I'm super excited to talk about you guys. What y'all want to talk about? Let's start. I want to start to talk about, what's your name, man?
Reed.
Reed?
Harris Cooper.
Reed Harris Cooper? That's a movie star name if I ever heard one. Reed Harris Cooper. What movie did we almost do together?
I did Screen Test for Hulk.
What? Wow.
Yeah, we're about the same
For
age.
one of the Lost Boys?
Yeah, we're about the same age.
And you're from New York?
Yeah.
What character was it for?
Probably one of the fat kids.
Ah. So one of the Lost Boys did come from New York, right from the
Yeah, I think I actually knew him.
James Matteo,
Yeah.
from the Bronx. Matter of fact, you know James. So Jimmy. So actually, matter of fact, his brother was here at this con earlier, Angelo Matteo. And he was like, yo, I'm here. So I was like telling the people in the green room, like, yo, this is my boy's little brother. And he's just here at the con because they're from New York. And so he came and hung out a little bit, you know, so it's crazy. That's cool, Reed.
My career has been as great as yours, but other than
Hey man, you still acting?
Yeah. I keep on.
Then that's it. We still actors. We're all still acting. That's kind of part of it. We're just still in the hustle of this Hollywood thing. So good luck on the journey.
Still one of my favorite movies of all time that probably none of these people.
Which one?
This is North Star.
Fist of the North Star. Lesser known film based on anime before animes got super hot in America.
Also Mandalore, man.
Yeah, Costas Mandalar. I played a character named Bat.
And you look just like him. You're the only person.
And that looked similar to the character, right? But my hair was blonde. And my hair was blonde. And I got killed in that movie too. Yeah. Chris Penn kills me.
Oh, that's right.
Stabs me. Not unlike Captain Hook. There's a lot more blood. There's a lot more blood in that stabbing.
Quit dying in your movies.
Huh?
Quit dying in your movies.
I know they love to kill me. I might become a very killable person. It's crazy.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
What?
You're the new Sean Bean.
I know Sean Bean gets killed a lot too. A lot of people get killed, you know. Hopefully I'll survive some more soon.
John Leguizamo gets killed all the time.
Yeah, John Leguizamo gets killed a lot too. That's true. You
Sure,
gotta-
you don't do any horror movies. You'll be the first to die.
Yeah. I have died in a few crazy indie horror films. Questions? Any questions? Yes. What's your name?
Jesse.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi. We had this discussion earlier. I was wondering what happened to Zuko's mom and when are we going to see that?
Yes.
Read the comments.
It's in the comics. It's called The Search. And it's actually a cool story. It's fascinating. I kind of wanted to see that animated because it's like, because magical things happen in it.
Well, we heard it was going to be animated. So
But it didn't get animated. But never say never. A. B. I did voice some of the panels on my YouTube channel. C. I probably, now that you know Great Elias here, who played, my sister played Zula. And so I'm like, yo, I probably should get with Gray and do something crazy, like, because they, you know, because one of my favorite part of like Zuko is him and Azula and their banter. And during the search, they have a whole big long fight scene. Like, oh, they're always fighting, right? And Gray plays crazy well, because she's kind of crazy. But I think that'd be cool. I think fans would like us like going to the comic book and like voicing the whole. I gotta set that up. Yeah, man. What's your name?
Jim.
What's up, Jim?
Can you talk about working with Michael Jackson?
Yeah, Mike Jackson. That's classic. So Mike,
I'm older.
everybody, he ain't older than me.
I'm 37.
Yeah, I got you. I got
What's old age?
you. We got that thick beard. I've been growing this for like a month.
So you've been growing that since like 99.
Yeah, this has been going for 99. I mean, it's called Wispy. So Michael Jackson, I did a video. So in Moonwalker, I did this project called Moonwalker, and I was a dancer. Like we were just dancers, me and my brothers. So in the Baby Bad video, yeah. So I worked on Michael Jackson with that back in the day. And so my little brother's there, and I was understudying my little brother. So they have two casts of the dance crews, and so a lot of those dancers are still friends of mine today. Really, my whole thing about dancing is before I got to LA, when I got to LA, I became an actor. Before that, I was a break dancer. Like me and my brothers were break dancers in the Bay Area in San Francisco. We were a crew called the Street Freaks, and my name was originally was Poppin' Fresh. And then I became Defrost. But everybody had breakdancing names back then. Breakdancing name. And then when we came to LA, we started dancing. So I danced a lot in videos. And so to dance for Michael Jackson was like one of the biggest things ever. Crazy thing about him, it was like he was cool. Like he'll come to say hi to the kids, but he wasn't like really like hanging out with us. Bubbles came and hung out with us. The monkey. Bubbles came.
You met Bubbles?
Yeah, we met Bubbles. Bubbles was definitely hanging out with us. And then, but he was just kind of like, my memory, I probably was like 12 when we worked with him. He was just so like, you know, magical. Like it's like one of those things where, I don't even know if they make stars like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like the Madonna, Michael Jackson, Prince, like, where they, like when you're looking at them in real life and they still don't seem real. You're like, this is a freaking alien. You know? That's how Michael was, and then you see him dance on the set and go through choreography, and you're like, dude, this is crazy. So I was so young at the time, and it was just one of those magical things of like getting to work with like an iconic, you know, thing. It's crazy. Yeah, what's up? What's your name?
Savvy is my name.
What's your name?
Savvy.
Sammy?
Savvy. S-A-V-I.
Savvy. That's dope, Savvy. This is crazy though. I'm gonna tell you something. Like when you're at con, like I go to cons all over the country and whatnot. It's crazy to do a con in New York because everyone sounds like New Yorkers. So you open, you know, the people come along like, "What up, man?" Like, "What up?" I'm like, "Oh, geez, this is crazy." Savvy, what up, Savvy? So what's the what?
So you spoke about being a breakdancer, then when you went to LA, you was an actor. So where does spoken word like fall?
Yeah, and spoken word is like my thing. Like we so a lot of people know me as a poet. I tour the country doing poetry. Over 20 years ago, I started a poetry venue essentially out of my living room. It's called DPL, Dante's Poetry Lounge, which became just DPL, Dub Poetry Lounge, which ultimately was the inspiration which became Deaf Poetry Jam on HBO and on Broadway. And then now, to this day, it's still the largest open mic venue in the world. The largest weekly open mic venue in the world is DPL, the Poetry Lounge. It started in my living room. It's crazy. Yeah, it's super dope. Me and my friends, it was just something I did because I love poetry. Like, I started writing poetry when I was 15, just through acting classes and like getting exposed to poetry. Dead Poet Society came out, that movie like rocked my joint. I was like, oh my God, I gotta read all these poets. And then like, you're 15 and you're like, you're just inspired by poetry and by art and movies, and then you're falling in love for the first time, sexual awakenings, you're like starting to write, you're trying to just write poems for girls. That's happening for sure. And then what happened in the 90s, we started on these poetry venues, ended up doing one in my own house, and that one got crazy just because I'm an actor, and there's a lot of actors that came through, and their friends and friends of friends, and then next thing you know, it's like hundreds of people, like this.
You need a bigger living room.
Yeah, we had to move out of the living room. There's hundreds of people show up, right? Then I moved to a restaurant, then I moved into a theater, and we've been at this theater now for like 18 years, something like that. And so it's like literally anywhere from like 300 to 500 people a week, every week, come to watch poetry. And
But
just,
it's not a slam though, right?
it's not a slam, it's just.
That's what I fell into.
I like slam too. I think slam's great. We have, like our slam team, we won nationals more than once, groups and individuals. And I think the competitive side of poetry kind of pushed poetry in a great direction. But it's just open mics, like rocking stories.
I just go open mic, I just help one slam.
Yeah. So I like it. I mean, you want to hear some poems? We're here. You want to hear some poems? We're like, let's do some poems. Which poems do you want to hear? Any you know some poems? Do you want to hear any genre? I'm coming off the dome now, so I don't even know if I'm gonna be good at it, but we'll see. But like, what you guys want to hear? Like love, politics. What you?
Freestyle some comedy.
Comedy? I don't know. I mean.
We had one called I don't know if this is the official name, but it was like politics.
Oh yeah, politic, talk ticks, politic, talk ticks, Mr. Politician. You're always on a mission to keep things the same. What's the last damn thing that a politician ever did for a change? For he feels he has the power, so why would he ever give up his reign? Regardless of the pain of the people he governs, he tells them what is good and what is evil, but fuck him, I got the power. I got the power of truth, kid. I give it to the people, let the people choose it. Politic, talk ticks, politic, talk ticks, politicians make laws, talk shit. The only law I ever saw was the one that keeps me poor, the one that keeps them rich, talk tick. How can a bunch of fat white guys tell me what is right and wrong after all of their lies? Never once did they admit to stealing this land from the Indian man, and never once did they apologize. So in my eyes, I see politic, talk ticks, politic, talk ticks. Mr. Politician, you're always on a mission. Mr. Politician, you forgot to listen. Matter of fact, you forgot to generally care about the human condition. So now things are going out of your control. You spent too much time trying to keep people in check instead of just letting us free our souls, and now you're stuck, fucked with a big problem. If you look closer, it's a bomb, and it's made of the miscellaneous, and there are no more containing us because there are more of us than you. Red is the color of our blood, and the color of our soul is indigo blue, and the color of our world is painted with conflict, and it's getting mad thick in the politic. Talk ticks as the poet rips. Talk ticks, politics talk more bullshit. Talk ticks is about to explode. The revolution, and the poets will lead it. Believe it, believe it, believe it.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was kind of heavy right now. What's going on? Let's do something more fun, like y'all want some Avatar poems? I do some quick. So these are poems I wrote for Instagram. Instagram was like 15 seconds. Back in the day, the video was 15 seconds. So I did these like little 15-second poems. So we go. A poem called Honor for something lost or misplaced, etched into your consciousness like a scar upon your face. This honor that you chase, it isn't always what you thought. Matter of fact, the fact that you always had is the very reason why you set out to prove its existence from the start. Toph Bay Foam. She moves mountains, so small but so strong. Next time I go on a life-changing adventure, you're invited to come along. Here's a poem for my friend who doesn't even bend, but his heart's as big as the rest of them. Plus he always has my back, makes me laugh cause he's funny. And when he told me that his girlfriend turned into the moon, all I could say was, that's rough, buddy. And then there's one for the girl. Sometimes the feeling of what could have been is so much stronger than what actually happened because the memory of perfection lasts longer. And even though we didn't end up together, it'll never change the fact that you changed my life forever. Sudara. Yeah, thank you. Little poetry set in the middle of the talk. All right, what's up? Any other questions?
I gotta run first, Mike, I swear.
Hey, questions? Yes, blue sweater, what's your name?
I'm Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So you were talking about breakdancing names. If Zuko had a breakdancing name, what would it be?
Yo, if Zuko had a breakdancing name, I mean, you know, he'd have to be something like Hot Fire, right? He'd have to be like...
Firecracker.
Firecracker's not bad. But they got the Z. You want to put that Z in there. Like dragon. He could be like something firecracker. Yeah, something like that. Had to be something like Hot Fire. Z Dragon. What? Flames. He could just be Flames. Yeah, Flames.
There's no other substitute besides Z-Dragon.
Z-Dragon is hot, right? He might be Z-Dragon. Yo, Z-Dragon in the house. If Zuko was like a rapper.
Would he get into a dance battle with Jake?
Jake is pretty good too. Jake, I mean, yeah.
Z-Dragon versus A-Dragon.
The Z-Dragon with the Am-Dragon, I know. And plus, Am-Dragon, I mean, we in New York. It's the J to the A to the K to the E. I'm the Mac Daddy Dragon of the NYC. You heard? So funny, because we're actually in New York. That's funny. So maybe he's gonna be Z-Dragon. Question. Well, you got a question with ears.
Yes.
What's your name?
Stephanie.
What's up, Stephanie?
How did you get into Homestuck?
How did Homestuck get into me? That's the question. Fucking Homestuck. No, I love Homestuck. Like I'm a Homestuck. You guys know what Homestuck is? Anyone not know what Homestuck is? Any Homestucks in the house?
Yes, I love Homestuck.
Y'all trash. Oh, y'all are trash. But we're all Homestuck trash. Bridget, don't look at me crazy. I'm not. We're all Homestuck trash. So Homestuck is just like. It's a webcomic about these 4 kids that kind of get into this video game that end up trying to save this world because the world blows up and ends, and they're trying to go back to the track and save the world. But then you have these intergalactic trolls from different time zones that start going into other parallel universes. And there's other characters. The more you talk about it, the more you sound crazy. And somehow Rufio shows up in this webcomic and gets killed again, and then ends up making out with the writer who created the webcomic after getting killed. But then he becomes like he's always been like the self-confidence for Tavros, which is a troll with the big horns.
They started off looking like an old mouse.
Yes, MS Paint Adventures. And it's crazy that when I started reading it, like fans on Tumblr were like, yo, when I first got on Tumblr, right? This is exactly how I got into it. This is exactly how I got into this damn thing. For years, I never did it in social media, nothing. I started working when I was young, 20-somethings, and like, Dante, you gotta get online. I'm like, I ain't online. That's not me, that's y'all. And they're like, no, you need to Google yourself. You're online. like, okay. So then I got like a Twitter, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll get a Twitter. This is years ago. And so like, I think I'm on Twitter for like a day or two, and it was like, some girl, her name was, God, she's like, Jean, I follow her on Tumblr, but she started, this girl Jean, right? And she's like, yo, you need to get on Tumblr. I'm like, what? She's like tweeting at me, you need to get on Tumblr. If you get on Tumblr, you'll have 1,000 follows by like tonight. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go on Tumblr. I don't even know what Tumblr is. And I go on Tumblr, and she's right, like I get 1,000 subs like that night, right? And so it's like bombarded by like all these questions, and I'm like starting to repost stuff and reblog stuff. I'm like, this is kind of cool, what's going on there? And then it's like a day or two into that, my whole inbox gets filled with like, you need to read Homestuck. And I'm like, what is what? All these pictures of like a Rufio with horns and all kinds of like, what is this? And so then I was like, yo, I'll read Homestuck. And I started live blogging me reading Homestuck. And then I had like 200,000 people following me reading Homestuck. And then one night I'm drinking wine, reading Homestuck. And then all of a sudden I show up. I'm like, oh, here I am. And then I'm like going, oh, this is cool. And you can read it all on my tongue, still on my Tumblr. Like, then I'm like, what's going on here? Like, is that Andrew Hussey who wrote the thing? I'm like, that. Why is he dressed like Peter Pan? And then it's like, is he giving me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? And then it's like, I'm drunk reading it. Like, not drunk, but like, wine-o-ing. And I'm like, I'm a little tipsy. And my man is like, we're making out on Tumblr, watching on Homestuck. It was crazy. So basically, I kind of got into it, and then as the years went by, like Andrew saw me reading it, and he was like writing to me on Twitter and Tumblr about me reading it, and was embarrassed a little bit. And then the fans never told me, once they told me to start reading it, like it never ends, right? So I was like, how long is this thing? And it just ended last year, right? So like 8,000 plus pages. Yo. And half the stuff, no one knows what's really going on. So much, it's almost, I compare it to like, it's like an American anime in its own way. It's like all these characters, there's all these shipping going on, people are having a relationship and they're killing each other. And there's some people I don't even mess with. Like their stuff comes up, I like, next. But there's other people I really like. But then I ended up meeting Andrew. He flew me out to Boston. I went there, I actually created a consultant for the company for about a year. Helped them they're doing the video game, so that's coming out soon. Hive Swap's coming out, and I know it's taking a lot more time than people, that backed it on Kickstarter and everything, and it's taking a long time. And there's some frustrations there, but it's gorgeous. Like the gameplay's dope. The visuals are like more beautiful than, like even like the last film, it's like prettier than that, and that's gorgeous. So, and there's new characters, there's new trolls. So it's cool. And my dude from Undertale's doing the game. Toby, so it's sick. Like it's super, super duper sick. And I can't wait for them to drop it. They're supposed to drop it in the next month or two. We'll see. So we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, so I was interested in how you got into voice acting. If you went there and danced at first, and how did voice acting?
If I went there, you mean like Hollywood?
When you said you started off as a dancer,
yeah.
And then you kind of got into acting. So when did voice acting happen?
Yeah, it just happened. Like I said, like been a long career, and I was fortunate. I just act, right? I studied acting for over 20 years, and like we just act, and I become a well-known actor, and I love acting. And then just when you're looking at Hollywood, when you get to town, ultimately you want to work, but when you work, you're talking about catching a paycheck, right? So you can catch a paycheck in Hollywood many different ways. Of course, there's film and television, which is like the most people come to LA for like movies or TV. But beyond that, there's commercials, right? There's hosting. You're like hosting projects, or you can do like reality TV now. Or there's things called industrial, where you do films for like companies that no one ever sees, just companies, and they hire actors to do that, and writers and directors to do all that kind of stuff. And then there's another part of the industry called voice acting, where for years no one would get a lot of attention to it. It's just like stuff you do, and I kind of tripped into it. I'm always acting for film and television, but those doors just kind of yeah. Oh yeah. So those doors kind of opened for me, and I kind of walked through them. They did a show. I mean, years ago, I did like a one line in the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie. Hey yo, Stacy! Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby! That's crazy, you know that. That's like a classic one line joint. And people were like, what is that? And I was like, because I'm a hip hop dude, or like R&B dude, like, that's Jodeci. I took that from, Jodeci, Come and Talk to Me. That's all I did. And it was during that time. They're like, Disney's like, that's cool. I'm like, all right. So that happened, and I've always been in the Disney kind of files, and I auditioned for lots of things for Disney over the years that I never got, from like Mulan to The Lion King to all that stuff. But imagine but now like Disney's like, we know you. I'm like, you know me this whole damn time. Now all of a sudden, like, you know me. But it's fascinating. What the great thing about the audition process is, like, as many roles you may know me now, it's like many actors, we've auditioned for so many other roles that we did not get. And a lot of those roles, no one may know those roles, but some will become like Lion King, or like, and to see those in their embryonic stage, it's kind of cool. It's like to be like, oh, that's what it's gonna look like, or like, but those become some of the worst auditions too, because everybody auditioning for these characters that are like iconic characters. It's pretty fun. But so those doors just kind of opened up, and then I ended up doing a series for ABC Disney, and then didn't go, and they gave me this other thing, which is Jago and the American Dragon, and I went there.
Love that.
Questions? Yes.
Ty, I got.
Ty?
Yeah.
What's up, Ty?
I got one for you.
Give it to me.
What do you think of the live action
No matter wherever I go, someone gotta mention that movie. No. I mean, first of all, well, in all honesty, I never saw the movie. I never seen the film. I never saw it. And I'll never say anything bad about the movie, because I'm like, I'm still an actor, and I'm still probably gonna end up in the room with M. Night, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be auditioning for him, and he'll be like, y'all heard you said something about me. No, I never said nothing about you, because someone on their camera phone sent me this. Said I wasn't shit.
movie doesn't exist.
No, well, the way I think about it is one thing. First and foremost, that's like the Voldemort movie. Like, he who shall not be named. But there's always someone up in here talking about Voldemort. But two, people hate the movie. A lot of people hate the movie. There's some people that think the movie's cool that don't really know the series. You know what I'm saying?
That's how not to make a movie.
Yeah.
That's your course, right. But, and I've never seen it, so I can't really talk on it, but I like to tell people, I like to go, you guys gotta understand, like, it's not a good movie, okay, but you gotta realize it's hard to make a good movie. Like, let's really think about how many good movies there are. I mean, think about even within the last year, every studio makes between 12 and 18 movies a year. How many of those movies are good? Maybe 2? 1, maybe, right? And just because they make a lot of money don't mean it's good. So it's one of those things, like, so it's hard. And then young directors, they really want to put their fingerprints on a project. It's just hard when you're going, it's already a big project. Like no one wants you to take Star Wars and change Luke Skywalker's name to like Luke. No one wants that. I haven't seen it, but people tell me like Aang's name is like and then it's like, why did you do that? It's like it's more. He said it's more correct. It's more correct to name him Ong. I go, then why is he white? It'd be more correct to make it. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't try to pronounce his name more ethnically correct and then put him ethnically totally not correct. Like what? Can we you do something? But again, I didn't see it, so. See, now you're gonna be talking about Voldemort. The Death Eater's gonna come get me, all this stuff. Question.
So, my best friend and I.
What's your name?
I'm Jess.
Jazz?
Jess.
Oh, Jess, I know.
My best friend and I
It's a Jess.
really loved American Dragon.
Oh, wow.
Like, hard. Like, we loved it so much. And my friend has a burning question. She needs to know what you think about the art style change from season 2. Like, it was so buff in
Y'all got the hard questions today. Y'all like really are in.
I'm gonna give you a rapid question.
Me too.
Okay, but no, I feel you on that. Your friend, what's your friend's name, Jess? Alyssa. I feel you, Alyssa, on this situation. Because I'm partial to the first version. On my table with the pictures, I only got the first version. But I asked what happened too, because I was like, matter of fact, my man right here is cosplaying Spud. Stand up one time, Fabio. Dude, we have a Spud cosplayer in the house, which is super dope. My buddy Charlie would love that when I see him. The guy who plays him, I'll tell him when I see him. So, the character, I liked the first version better, and I was like, what happened? What the, are you guys, did Disney lose their freaking mind? I can't think of any other, like, animated series that just switched up its whole animation, like, over the summer.
Oh, I can name one.
Who?
Batman, the animated series.
Oh, yeah.
Same series. It wasn't a reboot. It was the same series? The jaw, the jaw, like the real blocky characters?
All it did was move from Fox to Warner on WB or whatever.
Okay.
The entire budget went down the window.
That makes sense, moves from Fox to, to WB. This is Disney, we did the same, it was the exact same studio. But what happened is this, tell your friend Alyssa this is what happened. And they explained it to me, and then it made sense, didn't make me like the animation any better. But they said, so Rose and Jake were gonna start having a love story. And they said the first animation, they look too young. They look like they're 12, 11, 12. And it's like, if they're gonna kiss by the end of it, they wanted to look like at least like 15. And I was like, that makes sense. No one really wants to see 11-year-olds making out.
But now we have Star and the forces of...
Yeah. But it would have been nice if they at least did like something to see them grow up, like in the title sequence, or even like the first episode, like they went through the summer and it's like, oh, you had a growth spurt. Oh, cool. Now I got, the dragon got way skinnier. What the? But, I mean, it grew on me, I guess. It grew on me. But tell Alyssa that's why. Because they was about to do some making out. Yeah, what's your name?
Courtney.
What's up, Courtney?
So you said before that you watched the Death Society?
Yeah.
And then you started in Hook.
Yep.
With,
Yes.
so how do you feel?
I was a big fan of Robin Williams before we worked together. Obviously, Dead Poet Society is one of my favorite movies. I grew up with Mork and Mindy. He's just this amazing, magical guy. I mean, The World According to Garb was a great movie for me growing up. And it's all these. He's just one of those guys I looked up to. But when I was on the set with him, there's so many great stories of Robin. But he's everything you thought. He's everything you'd want him to be. He's like, he is the genie from Aladdin. Like, that's who he is, Energy-wise, so smart and fast and like magical. Like when he's around, anything can happen. But I was also fortunate to spend time with him off the set, just like in the makeup trailer, just rehearsing, just kicking it with him. And I told him how much I love Dead Poets Society. We would talk about poetry, like all the time. About poems that he likes, poets he likes, poems that I liked. I'm writing poetry. His gift to me at the end of our shoot, a lot of times when you finish a movie, you do wrap presents. And he gave me, I still in the office, a really big, beautiful leather-bound book of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. It's great, which is from Dead Poets Society. That's what they're talking about the whole time. So, yeah, man, I love that, dude. I love that. I mean, part of the whole Poetry Lounge kind of scaling and happening and me pursuing it and continuing to be a poet, I think part of it was like, you know, attributed to Robin and his like love of me being a poet and kind of digging that. So all that's great. I mean, one of the presents I gave him was a hat that said, "Oh Captain, my Captain" on it. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, in the back right there with the glasses. What's your name?
Jackie,
Hi, Jackie.
what would you say is your favorite role?
That's a hard question. You know, I mean, like Rufio and Zuko are like big roles, super big roles. Jake Long. I mean, they're all great. I mean, they're great. I don't know. I mean, I did a movie called The Debut, where I played like the first Filipino-American film in America. And I'm Filipino, so it's the first time I got to play Filipino, and that was like a really big thing for me, and for the community. I don't know, it's just hard. You know, it's weird because people always ask like, what's your favorite role? What was the best project or something like that? And you go, it's interesting for the audience, you guys see it and you guys experience it in the movie theater or at home in videos or whatever you experience it, and it means something to your life because it's that time of your life. And when I watch the movies, you know, it represents like that time in my life. Like it's like looking through a photo album, right? You're like, oh my God, like, I forget, you know, like Robin passed away, or like, you know, I gotta give that, you know, Jimmy, I gotta give Jimmy a call, or I used to date that girl. Like that, all it's like, if you're looking, it's hard, it's like, what's your favorite part of your life? You know, that kind of thing. It's like all part of your life. But the role-wise, I mean, Take the Lead was amazing too, because it's a dance movie, and because I started off as a dancer, you know, coming back to dance in a movie was like amazing. You know, I tell people, I grew up watching Grease like every other day. So when I did a dance movie, like that's my Grease, you know. So I think it's hard to say. So I mean, favorite, they're all special for different reasons. I mean, important, there's like important ones. Rufio is obviously important because it really set off my career in Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. But like I said, a dance movie, Take the Lead is important because I'm a dancer, and the Filipino movie is important. Zuko's important because it just teaches me lessons that you may have a plan of what you want to do with your life and your career, and then other things may happen that may be better than your plan, or like, you know, so it's cool. You gotta like remember that. In the back. Yes, sir. What's your name? Quinnell.
Cornell.
Quinnell. What's up?
Good so far.
Chilling. I like this. We like relax. It's like we're just hanging out.
I'm just curious, is there anyone that you would like to work with?
Yeah, man. There's so many artists that I'm really, you know, you look up to. I mean, as an actor, man, you know, I grew up when you study acting, you're a serious actor, of course, the actors you want to work with, the ones you look up to, for my boys and my whole crew, is like, it goes from like the Marlon Brando to like the James Dean, Montgomery Clift, goes down to the 70s, like Pacino, De Niro, Hoffman, Nicholson. I mean, to today, you're looking at like Daniel Day-Lewis, and you know, these cats are putting down amazing kind of characters and performances. So when you want to work with the gods, those are like the gods, you know. But there's so many. I mean, I think artist-wise, I get inspired by a lot of friends and what they're doing, both actors and filmmakers and writers. So it's hard to say. I mean, ultimately you want to work with whoever if it's cool, like great people. And then, you know, there's always like hot girls you want to work with. Because who doesn't want to work with a hot girl? It's true though, Reed. It's true. You're like, Jessica Alba movie, like, I gotta do that movie. It's like, what's the role? I don't care. You know? But as far as, I mean, I think there's somebody, I think the young, like Wes Anderson as a director, you want to work with Wes, someone like that. I mean, I think the list goes on. There's so many great artists out there right now. But yeah, right. With the, yes. No, we'll go you and then you. We'll go back and then forth. Right. What's your name? Wesley.
If Kingdom Hearts did, if they ever included American Dragon,
I would like to. That'd be cool.
Yes.
That would be cool, you know. Like Jake Long. It's so funny, like Jake Long comes back. Because you know, like the whole Rufio Zuko thing's always big. My t-shirt comes like Rufio Zuko, and the people are always like, don't forget that you have an original Disney character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Like who can say that they have like an original Disney character? And that was, I mean, that's pretty dope. But I would love to do something like that. I love Jake Long. I think he's a cool character, and I think the generation of y'all like are all in college and stuff right now. So like, if I talk to colleges, it's like y'all be loving some Jake Long.
Yes, I have it on my laptop.
There it is. There it is. I need that.
Yeah, so how is it working with Mae Whitman on Jake Long and then on Avatar with two totally different roles?
That's pretty crazy. I do remember that when we both booked both of them, you know. And I've known Mae since she was 12. Hold on one second. Let me hit this dude back here. He's like, I'm supposed to be getting dinner with this guy. I'm late for everything. Mae Whitman I've known since she was like 12. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny. I mean, I love Mae. I'm doing a series with her right now. I'm doing Micronauts with Mae right now. And so that's pretty fascinating. Okay, I did it. So we were in the middle of doing Jake Long, American Dragon. I mean, I love Mae. Like you guys know Mae Whitman?
Yeah.
Like, so she's a great voiceover actress, but also she's a great screen actor. I love her in like Scott Pilgrim. I mean, and she's on, what's her TV show that she's on right now? She's Arrested Development, which is great. But like so I've known this girl since she was like 12, right? And she's playing like Rose, and I'm playing Jake, and I see her grow up. I remember the day she got a license, and like I remember when she first like drove to, you know, work without her parents, and then we started doing. We did both series. We were actually doing, I think it was like we were doing American Dragon on Tuesdays. For like a whole year, we were doing like American Dragons on Tuesdays, and we were doing Avatar on like Thursdays. Wow. It's crazy, right? And it felt like almost the same kind of story, but it felt like one was a sitcom and one was like an hour-long drama. So that was kind of weird. And then, but we were like rooting. I think she shipped Zutara too, like lightweight. If you hit her on Twitter, like, do you ship Zutara? She does. For sure. She ain't really open about it because she ended up with Aang, but come on. But I mean, I love that girl. I mean, I remember the first time I saw her in a club in LA. Like, I was at some event, I was like at some club, and I see someone through the crowd. I'm like, is that Mae? And I walk up and I'm like, yo. She's like, yo. And I'm like, what are you doing here? She's like, you know, drinking stuff in her hand and everything. I'm like, should I not be here? Who should leave? Because we probably shouldn't be here at the same time. But she's a sweetheart. I mean, she's incredibly talented. I root for that girl all the time. A very important actor in Hollywood from the 60s to when he passed away, especially amongst the Asian American scene. And not only did he do over 100 projects and was in everything, right? And his voice and stage too. And he got nominated for an Oscar for Sand Pebbles with Steve McQueen. And he started East West Players, which is the longest running theater for people of color in America. Very influential guy. And I love this dude, man. He played my uncle or my father, I think, 4 times in my career. So he's known me since I was 12. And he kind of watched me grow up playing with my dad, playing with my uncle. And it's so amazing by his last project I got to do with him. And which is so fascinating. He kind of taught me over the years. He was like, in a lot of ways, he was like Uncle Iro. Like he was someone I could go to ask questions about my life and my career, and he could give me his point of view from, you know, being a veteran. And so he's one of those things that after he passed away, and he's this amazing, he comes from this very amazing lineage of actors, especially important Asian American actors in Hollywood. And then it's like one of those like moments where like, oh my God, I'm a part of that lineage too. Like I didn't, you know, you don't realize it as a young actor coming up, you get a little older, and guys like that kind of pass the torch to you to like help do something for the next generation, which led me to ultimately creating my own production company, Kinetic Films, where we do Asian American films. And then I also created an Asian American arts collective in LA 3 years ago called We Own the 8th, which is about us co-opting one day a month, the 8th day of every month, to spotlight Asian media in America and help kind of cultivate the next generation of content creators. So it's like that's lessons learned from Uncle Iro, not unlike Zuko, you know? Yeah, so questions. Jesse, what's up? You back?
Yeah.
What's up?
So, have you ever considered reading, like, for audiobooks for, like, poetry? Because I would totally buy every
No, I mean,
like,
thank you. No, I know, I haven't, but I have friends that do read the books. It's long. It's hard. Like, I like to read, but I don't read out loud. I like to read silently.
well, nobody's looking at you. You're just recording.
I know. I had an idea that I wanted to do. But I haven't been able to figure it out on my YouTube. I love YouTube because you can be creative. And one of the things I want to do, but I haven't been able to figure out how to do it right, is I wanted, because people always like, I want you to narrate my life, or something like that.
Yeah, but see, you have one of those voices, almost like Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I want people to like send me like their Snapchat stories, and then I'm just gonna narrate their life when they're doing it. I'll be like, today Jessie's looking in the mirror. Her outfit is on fleek. We're gonna go get coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to like, do their life. But thank you. Thank you for digging my voice. Questions? More questions? Just read.
You were just talking about family and mate going away. I know you're really close with your brothers.
Yeah.
And I've always been wondering, there was one time when your brother was at a point almost more famous than you.
Right.
So in terms of trajectory of careers and just as a family and relationships, like what that time period was like when you're brought, you know.
Yeah, man, you know, I have 4 brothers, we're all actors. I have a sister also, she's an artist. You know, I think there's competitive nature, but we all studied together for so long. I think you kind of like, we've seen, especially with your friends too, with all your tight friends, it's like, you get to a place where, you know, you can't value yourself as artists on fame, because fame is fleeting and it's not very tangible. People don't understand fame. Fame is just a tool to kind of get other things done, right? And like all my friends.
Yeah, they all have their.
Yeah, but when you study together, or you know people well, you've kind of seen their career over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Not just my brothers, my best friends. You've seen them do the best work ever, and the worst work. And they've seen you do horrible work, and they've seen you do amazing work, and some of your most amazing work will never be seen, but you kind of see it. So it's like, you just enjoy, you know, everyone for who they are. It's like, not just my brothers, but like, you're in Hollywood, and it's like, you see friends, you know, blow up, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very thankful and fortunate for my career and blessed to kind of have the career I've had and the things I'm working on, and being able to kind of create opportunities for others now is really amazing, as well as continuing to go on my path. But then also you see friends that go through the stratosphere, right? You see friends, I mean, you know, you grow, you know, not to name drop, but you just see cats like the Black Eyed Peas. We were friends from super young. Or like, you know, Bruno Mars when he first got to town. or like, like even like Rosario Dawson when she was younger, or like, I mean, we were all around. I remember when like Leonardo DiCaprio was just like, we're saying like all partying together, you know what I'm saying? We're just hanging out. And you see people's things go crazy, it's just kind of like, you gotta just be happy for folks to be a part of it, because also you've seen friends that have had stars risen and now you don't know who they are, right? Or you see people die. I'm around long enough where you see kids OD, you see kids like not make it and want to go, but you never really, you gotta not value them for their career or how much money they've made. It's like you try to value people for like the other parts of, you know what I'm saying? For who they are. It's like, at the end of the day, like, good actors know what good actors are. Like, I don't gotta watch, you know what I'm saying? It's not about how much money you made last series. There's so many cats that are like really great at it, like they make a lot of money, and it's like, they're not respected, not by their peers, and there's other people that are like so respected by their peers, but like, they just can't catch a break. None of their roles are like getting to the next level, right? Some people are like, how do you do iconic roles? I'm like, I don't know. It's just the luck that anything you do, people give a shit about, And hopefully you get to a point in your career you're not worried too much about that. You just want to ultimately try to do good work with good people. Because it comes down to like, it's your life, man. Like, work with good people. Like, do good work with good people. That's all you want to do. We have time for a few more questions? Maybe one more question. I feel like a jerk. These last, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, quick. We'll do 1, 2, 3.
What was the experience like voicing Zuko's grandson in Legend?
Weird, super strange.
Yeah.
Playing my grandson, Iroh, although I do like the character, and he's awesome because he's a firebender.
Yes.
I didn't know that your voice could get passed to the next generation, but sometimes it can.
You are your own grandson.
I am my own grandson. It could happen.
You said you've only played a Filipino-American once.
Well, officially written to be Filipino, but every character I play is Filipino.
Hollywood seems to have this, like, just Asian. Just
Right.
Asian.
Right.
Why is that? Like, how many times have you played someone who's Chinese or Japanese?
I played everything, man. I played Chinese, Japanese.
You almost never play Filipino.
Well, they're just not, they didn't even know what a Filipino was when I first got to Hollywood. So we're changing it. I think that's why part of what I'm doing with We on the 8th is about trying to have Asian Americans take back the narrative of what it is to be Asian and an Asian in America.
Even like the American occupation.
Right.
There are many.
There's so many stories, and I think Asians have to tell that story because as Asian Americans or other ethnic groups, right, it's like, but especially for Asians in America over the last 50, 100 years, the stereotype or the narrative of what it is to be Asian in America was actually not written by Asians. By and large, it's been, white people writing about their experience of Asians, and we've been playing those roles. And there's truth in it because it's truthful, but it's not the whole thing. So my goal for the next generation is for us to take back that narrative and just us tell our own experiences of ourselves, as which will go beyond just other people telling their stories of us. And the last question.
What do you think we can do as an audience and viewers to change or increase the amount of Asian American actors in the Hollywood industry?
I always think it's it's changing right now. I mean, the amount of, the lack of representation in mainstream media has shown up on the amount of how many YouTube stars there are that are Asian.
Just hit a news.
JK to Ryan Higa to Kev Jumba to Tim Delgado to, it keeps going on. It's like 30 or 40% of the top 100 YouTubers are Asian American, which is not congruent to as many Asians as there are on mainstream media. But it's changing. I mean, this is what's changing. I think part of us infiltrating that system is to create another system for us to work and for us to kind of tell our stories, ultimately. I always say, whether you're Asian or not, it's like the only way to win and to impact is to create product. Create something. I mean, this is the first time ever in the history of Hollywood and the world that the studios, the money people, don't hold the keys to the product. Like, we could do it. If you're a singer, if you're a filmmaker, if you're a writer, create the product, put it out there, make it real, make it tangible, that will scale, that's the only way to win. You know what I'm saying? And consequently, the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, and that's it. So, cheers you guys, thank you so much. Thank y'all, see y'all for the rest of the week, and I'll be on time next time.